So let's go through the responses. So this was all the details we showed of what happened in the night.
Wow, that guy with the Labour rosette looks happy.
Yeah, he's having a great time. So let's just... I'm not even going to say anything. Let's just play this clip of the response from the Labour MPs.
What's happened to Labour now? Isn't the problem you're too cautious, you're too bland? People say they don't know what you stand for. You've actually paid a tribute to the Conservatives by saying people know what they stand for, big spending and so on, and investment. Isn't that a pretty poor indictment of what Labour's offering or failing to offer?
No, and I think in terms of kind of where Labour is and what is our offer, what do we stand for, who are we, and who are we in politics to represent? We are not reinventing the wheel. We are the party of working people, and we are.
Can I stop you there? You appear as though you're not the party of working people, because you appear to be the party of middle-class graduates in the London suburbs and the metropolitan areas, and in towns like Hartlepool and other constituencies in the northeast of England, which one might describe loosely as working-class communities. You've lost seats in the general election, and you appear to have lost here.
When did Sky News get so based?
Yeah.
Like, they saw the election results and flipped, I guess.
I mean, that's exactly what I would have said to him. So, but I mean, essentially calling them class traitors. And this is something we'll talk about, because it's like, that's exactly what they are.
What else can they say they are? I mean, he's like, we're the party of the working class. Yeah, but why did none of them vote for you? So pathetic. So I also wanted to get up here. Dominic Cummings has his own Twitter account, in case people don't know. It's kind of small. But he decided about an hour ago to go on a rant, and I love it. So we're just going to go through some of this. So as he says here, when pundits who explained why Vote Leave's plan to realign politics was mad, stupid, impossible, now give post hoc explanations for why it's also logical, inevitable. Ignore their babble. Pundits equal noise, not signal, e.g. the centre ground does not exist. It's a pundit fiction.
Interesting.
And
Interesting Bannonite language there.
Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you'll remember this...
Ignore the noise, pay attention to the signal, yeah.
Yeah, you'll remember this from, like David Cameron's era. It was like, we're going to take the centre ground.
Yeah.
We'll destroy the Lib Dems. And it was like,
Well, I mean, kind of. I guess.
we're going to get the Guardian voter to vote for it. Oh, shut up. So stupid. So he continues in here. So Vote Leave strategy in 16...
Well, before we go on, this is great, because it was V who I was talking to him about this the other day, and I don't know where he'd stolen this from. Sorry, V, I'm just teasing. But he was like, look, the sort of centre ground, the silent masses aren't a voting bloc; they're the spoils to be divided up, and I think he's right. I think that's absolutely correct. You know, these people are just not political, and they'll do whatever the political wing that's in charge tells them.
Totally true. I think he's right on that.
Yeah.
So he continues. Vote Leave strategy in 16 and 19 was based on SW1 theories, read the centre ground being equals false. SW1, so...
The Westminster bubble.
Yeah, he writes very weirdly, just in case you're not able to follow some of this. So, didn't learn after 2016 and provided chance for us to win again in 19, ignoring pundit howling. Keir Starmer is a beta lawyer, gamma politician. Brave New World insults.
This is based.
Like all in SW1, he obsesses on media reality, not actual reality. He's played the lobby game badly for a year without a message to the country. And now the pundits will A, savage him, B, tell him he needs to focus on them more exclusives.
Yep.
Because he'll listen to all that babble. What will he not do? Focus on public priorities over media priorities.
Yep.
They're saying that's what you should do. A message of how bad Keir Starmer is. Until Googled yesterday, I didn't know...
Well, hang on. There's a bit here that we have a number 10 in opposition who see their job as media entertainment service, and neither knows how to be this better than TB/Mandy. Neither will try to be a government. That's the most important thing. Because what it is, he's absolutely right. Because the media pundits, right... say that, you know, the Labour Party and the sort of left-wing parties are sort of controlled, and genuflecting to them is totally true, but then who are they genuflecting to? And the answer is Twitter. You know, it's literally Twitter that is controlling this, and so the Labour Party have gone down the "will be popular on Twitter" route. It's like, okay, but look how that turned out.
You trended very well yesterday.
Oh,
lads.
Constantly. Nothing but destroy the Tories. And you got absolutely buggered.
Oh, man, they really do never learn, do they?
It's amazing.
So
I love it.
He says, as a measure of how bad Keir Starmer is, until I Googled yesterday, I didn't know who the Shadow Chancellor is, and when I looked at the photo, I had zero recognition. She never touched my consciousness in a year. And I just wanted to demonstrate So another one of the responses, the Marxist response. So this is Marxist McDonald, and you can get the next image up. Just his response, looking at those results, minus 60 Labour. Look at them tears. Yeah. If we had Corbyn, this wouldn't have happened.
You did this, John.
It did. It did happen under Corbyn. That's the whole point. You walked them into this grave, and now there's no escape. Good, thank you.
Now North FC are just jollily filling in the dirt onto your face while they wear their top hat and monocle.
Get rid of this 60s nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
So Labour HQ also had some cope, so we can get the Labour HQ response up here. Just because we have stopped pissing in the bath doesn't mean people want to jump in straight away. Like, the bath's still filled with piss.
That's fantastic, actually. That's a great way of describing it. Because it's important to remember that this is all a consequence of Corbyn and his momentum-style Labour Party. That's exactly a great summary, in fact.
I just love the idea of Labour being like, yeah, our party's full of piss.
On the plus side, we've stopped peeing into the bath.
But they didn't, though.
It's still warm.
They didn't at all. I don't buy their nonsense. They're like, oh no, we're totally different now. Because you carried on the politics. You changed the front of house. That's what you did. The kitchen is still the same. So, in response, apparently Keir Starmer is saying he's going to shuffle his cabinet. As if anyone gives a toss about that. I mean, really? You think everyone was like, oh no, I'm not voting for him because of cabinet members? Shut up. So he says here that Annalisa Dodd, so that's the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Dominic Cummings mentioned, is expected to get the sack because she's been useless, and she has been.
When does Keir Starmer get the sack?
How many hours have we got? But if you were wondering anything about her, the only thing I knew about her really is the one Guardian article she published. I wanted to get this up because there's no point reading it. It's just stock Labour Party garbage. But if you can scroll down, so we can look at that image there, and then
that image.
That image
that I put on Gab that got 2,000 shares because this was an example of Britain in decline under the Labour Party.
It's like this is the Guardian used this image to try and be like, haha, the Tories have messed up, and moratorium on criticising the Tories right now, so we're not going to get into that. But look at it.
Anyone who can't see this, we're looking at a rundown. What I'm guessing is I don't know, is it an area of London or something like that?
I don't know, actually.
But it's a small sort of local area of Britain, and all the shops are boarded up. They're all graffitied over. Everything looks like post-apocalyptic wastelands, shop to let, all this sort of stuff. And then just across the road is a very pristine, glorious-looking gay pride flag.
Like the crosswalk is painted in the gay pride flag colours.
It's the only thing that looks new on that entire street.
And you think this is a product of the right, conservatives, traditionalists?
Yeah.
I mean, not criticising the Tories.
Free
right now,
marketeers,
it is not the conservative theorists who come up with this.
No.
This is a result of progressive thinking, in which we ignore everything in favour of pure optics of being virtuous because we believe in race and gender communism.
Well, it's all about the abstraction, because that's what the flag is. A flag is it's a symbol of a series of ideas, which is why when you burn a flag, you are saying something deeper than just this piece of material is bad. And this is exactly the point. The essentials, the thing that are essential to people's lives, the pub being open, the shops being open, things working as they should, are all shut down. But the veneer, the abstraction, it looks glorious. And that's the Labour Party summarised.
Being criticised in the chat. It's a Pelican Crossing, apparently. I said crosswalk because I've been infected with Yankeeism. But moving on. So, in case you're wondering about the rest of his cabinet, I mean, we've covered this before, but let's just go over it again because it's glorious. So here's David Lammy. David Lammy is the Shadow Justice Secretary. He'd be in charge of justice for the country if Labour got in. And this is him, like, a couple of days ago, tweeting out that nearly 9 out of 10 children held in custody on reprimand in London are from black, Asian and minority ethnic background. This is a national scandal. Sadiq Khan is right to reaffirm his commitment to tackling disproportionality.
There is no way we can have an honest conversation about that.
What on earth is he saying, though?
I know what he's saying.
9 out of 10 children in there are from BAME backgrounds.
Yep.
And then what's the solution to that, David? I mean, you're going to have to either start releasing criminals who have brown skin because they have brown skin and therefore did nothing.
Which is literally what they'll do.
Or the other part, which they'll do, is just start arresting innocent white men to try and get the disproportionality under control.
Yeah.
Those are your two options. Because you're not interested in justice there. You're interested in social justice. You're not interested in whether or not they're actually guilty. Rather, you're interested in the group characteristic that they have.
But the point is you can't ever have a conversation about why the children from these communities are breaking the law so much.
So moving on. Let's go to something a lot less spicy. Let's go to Nasha. So
Okay.
For people who don't know who Nasha is, Nasha is my favourite Labour MP in the sense that I love that she's in the Labour Party and they keep her around because it just discredits Labour on everything. So this is what she's most well known for among the right in the UK, which is that she shared and liked a tweet from a parody Owen Jones account that said victims of grooming gangs should shut their mouths for the good of diversity. So if you can scroll down, there's the tweet in there just so we can see it and I can demonstrate that this is not fake news. She really did this. You can Google it yourself, find the tweet yourself. Yep. She then turned around and said, "Oh no, it was a mistake. I didn't know what was in the tweet." And I was like, "Why did you like it and retweet it then? What did you think was in there?"
The mistake was that you didn't realise it was a parody account of Owen Jones.
So if Owen Jones
was the mistake.
Had actually said this,
she would have retweeted it and stood by it.
Anyway, so as reward for doing this, saying that rape victims of grooming gangs should shut their mouths for the good of diversity, she was made women's minister under Corbyn.
Jesus Christ.
Corbyn made her in charge of women's inequalities. Yeah, but okay, Corbyn's gone. We've reformed. We are the new Labour Party now. So what did she do otherwise? So she's otherwise known for her anti-Semitism. So this is something she did a while back. So you can scroll down as well. Eventually you'll get to the image of what she did, which is that she shared this image here, showing that the solution for the Israel-Palestine conflict: relocate Israel to the United States. So just move all the Jews to America.
Ethnically cleanse the Jews from the Middle East. Nasar, 2014.
Nasha, problem solved, and save you bank charges for £3 billion you transfer yearly. Thanks Jamal Faisal and Bibble Sasha for sharing.
Wow. Okay.
Nasha. Yeah. Yeah. So what did Keir Starmer do with this person? Of course, the Reformed Labour Party. He kicked her out. Of course. No. He put her in charge of community cohesion. That's the thing, like, nothing's changed.
Well, she certainly knows what to do with the Jews.
Like, the front of house has changed. The whole, like, oh, we've got a new leader who people don't know for being an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
But all these people are still around. Now Shah was in charge of women's under Jeremy Corbyn. She's now in charge of community cohesion, presumably because of her strong views, let's say. And David Lammy, I mean, the open racist who thinks that, Pope smoke is racist. Remember that? Like, he tweeted out that the Pope's smoke being white or black was a racist statement from the BBC.
It's not. It's an ancient way of signalling the kind of Pope or something.
You don't understand social justice,
yeah.
David would say. Anyway, so the other parts of this response. So Jess Phillips was trending. Jess Phillips was trending because people were like, in response, how about we just make Jess Phillips the leader of the Labour Party?
Yes.
Go for it.
Yes. No, that's absolutely right. Labour deserves its first female leader. Because about all of the parties, literally all of the parties, the Labour Party, the party committed to women's rights and social justice, is the only party in Britain that has never had a female leader. How is that possible? It should be Jess Phillips. It's her time. It's her time.
It's her turn.
Do it. Yeah, it's her turn. It's right. Now is the time for Jess Phillips to lead the Labour Party to glory. Totally endorse.
Well, there you go. You can put that on your campaign leaflets, Jess. Endorsement from... No. Anyway, so the other responses, so the Corbynista MPs are all, like, salty, because they're like, if Corbyn was in charge, then we wouldn't have lost, because they're all very smart people. So Richard Bergen here. Incredibly disappointing defeat in Hartlepool. We are going backwards in areas we need to be winning. Labour's leadership needs to urgently change direction. It should start by championing the popular policies in our recent manifestos, backed by a large majority of voters. Majority? You guys lost!
This guy's a massive socialist as well.
I believe that he's deluded. That's not hard.
Yeah, but so no. This happened with Corbyn in a Sky interview when she was like, I think it was the 2017 vote or something like that, where Theresa May only just squeaked it. Jeremy Corbyn was treating it like a victory, and he was
we won the argument.
Yeah, we won the argument. So, yeah, but you lost. It's like, oh, but, but you did lose.
But literally, like, the last election was the most embarrassing thing Labour's had for decades. And you're like, yeah, those were popular policies backed by a large majority of the public. What do you mean large majority?
But they don't.
You had no majority.
Yeah, but hey, there's that. But they just don't seem to understand that it is the socialism that is the problem. Like, it's the mindset permeates everything they do, and it makes them smell bad.
Why is Nasha still around?
Exactly. Why is she still around? But anyway.
So the other response I saw that was of interest, so we'll go through Diane Abbott. Diane Abbott had some amazing tweets in response to this, in which she said that if Keir Starmer was here, nothing would have happened. Daddy Corbyn. So crushing defeat for Labour in Hartlepool. Not possible to blame Jeremy Corbyn for this result.
Wrong. Dead wrong.
Oh boy. Labour won the seat twice under his leadership. Keir Starmer must think again about his strategy.
Absolutely wrong. But 23,000 likes on Twitter, so, take that as being read.
Keep going in that direction. She did one more tweet that I think is just hilarious. If you're in a hole, stop digging. Look in the mirror, woman. Is generally sensible advice. The idea that Labour should carry on the same path, just pick up speed, is just nonsense. We need a change in strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
you did it. You got Keir in charge. And look what happened. He's just digging a hole in the other direction.
Yeah, but Keir Starmer, like the way that these things work is it's not like a person driving a car who can just change direction, right? What it is more like a fleet of cars that slowly change direction over time. And what Keir Starmer has found himself at is the head of the fleet of Corbynites. And it's like, right, okay, what can he do? You know, he can start making small changes and trying to do a few things, but everyone can still see the general stench of the Corbynites permeating all through the Labour Party. And it's not going to be for a generation. It'll be like in the 70s and the 80s.
It's a party of hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah. It'll be like in the 70s and the 80s, where the Labour Party got obviously communistic, obviously socialistic, and the Tories just absolutely waxed them for a generation until Tony Blair could finally come back and ruin things.
Please, God, no. I don't want that to be the future in which they have some kind of comeback. My ideal is that the Labour Party just dies over the next few decades and something liberal replaces it, so we can have the Tories versus essentially like UKIP liberals, so we can actually have some debates. So anyway, the Momentum response to this I wanted to add as well, so the next link is just Momentum responding. So saying that Starmer's strategy of isolating the left and replacing meaningful policy with empty buzzwords, God, has comprehensively failed. Comprehensively failed, just like 2019, folks. If he doesn't change direction, not only will he be out of a job, but the Labour Party may be out of government forever. Says Momentum. Momentum.
Like, you know, there's famous winners.
How many elections have they won? But just the idea, we need to go back to 2019. Oh, God. They never learn, do they? Literally
the middle-class, university-educated communist revolutionaries that the North hates are going to set the direction of the party that is already following and leading it to defeat after defeat after defeat. These people are a joke.
First comment there. Momentum need to piss off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. But the next image is just like Keir Starmer. What's he meant to do? Like it's just him. Like he's got nowhere to go. Like what's he going to do? Retreat into what?
Well, he's got to try and take the UKIP territory.
So get used to dying on your knees, Keir. Just like you take the knee for BLM. So we can get the next one up. It's just him taking the knees, remind everyone.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like, sure, they abandoned the class socialism of arguing about wealth inequality and all that between different classes of people in the last election. But they didn't abandon the race socialism.
That's not the class issue in Britain, right? The class issue is just looking out for working class interests. That's not the working class saying, look, we need to take everything the Tories have or anything like that. That's them saying, look, just make sure you're on our side. You know, stop actively working against us like the Labour Party does by, say, importing new voters, you know, like telling us that we're bad people for objecting to the fact that our towns and cities are dramatically changing. Man, I can't wait till the new census comes out. You know, that the census will explain exactly. I bet it overlays perfectly, in fact, you know, the sort of population changes. But anyway.
Just retreating into their cities.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you're totally right. I was just flaming it in Labour terms because you know, that's how they think. So, I mean, just get up the next image. I mean, why am I able to make things like this? You know, Black Lives Matter, injured cop. Like, what does Labour think about this? You endorsed it. You took
Not a word other than pro.
Yeah. So you got rid of the as you would describe as like class socialism, as Ash Sarkar would probably say or something. But you kept the race socialism, all the rest of it. And look where that got you. Extinction event. So let's go on to Ash Sarkar. Just see how she's been responding to this. So someone's saying that she should take a look in the mirror. Yes, everyone knows that I have the ear of Keir Starmer and have been deciding his strategy for months now.
Well, actually you do. You're an influential voice within the Momentum movement, and what you say about that goes further than your personal social media presence, and you know that. And this becomes like the mindset. You're like the id of the Momentum crowd. And so yeah, that is a true thing.
Why did he take the knee?
Yeah, why did he take the knee?
No one on the Blairite side would be saying this. Blair himself even said it was a mistake. So, who's done it? It's your guys. So then she also responds by saying that we're meant to lose. I'm not joking. So Labour's vote has declined in Hartlepool in every election bar 2017 since 1997. It's a microcosm of a crisis facing the party in England and more broadly, and can't simply be put down to Brexit, Corbyn or Starmer.
That's correct, Ash.
But I love it. Like, we're essentially meant to lose. Like, for decades, we've become less and less popular because of our politics. Yeah. You're almost there. Like, so close to being like, yes, we are the problem. The reason people don't want to vote for you is because you suck.
Well, it's exactly the same reason that Marx thought the communist revolution would start in England, and it didn't. Right? The communists do not understand England, and they can't envisage themselves as doing anything other than lose against the mindset that they encounter. End of story.
There's also her response in which he tries to redefine the working class again.
Oh, good, yeah.
Put
Tell
that
us
up.
about the lumpen proletariat.
So it should be the next link to it. Don't worry about it. It's not that interesting anyway. We're just going to skip over it. It's just her saying that the working class are really just migrants.
The working class, migrants and university-educated students are actually the real working class.
But I'm not that worried about it. Let's just show the Owen Jones instead. So this is Owen Jones' response, in which I saw him posting his book Chavs, The Demonization of the Working Class. Owen Gammon Jones, the man who called everyone gammon whenever they disagreed with him on politics and were working class. I can't get over it. So he says, it's exactly 10 years since my first book, Chavs, The Demonization of the Working Class, came out, which is beyond surreal. One of the two things that has happened since then, but I genuinely think it's more relevant than when it was first published. To you.
Yeah.
You're the man who's been demonizing them.
But you're on the side that constantly loses elections. So why would I think that you have a firm understanding of what's going on here?
So the last thing I just wanted to squeeze through was the Labour subreddit. I love the Labour subreddit. I have a personal guilty pleasure of going there for fun. So this is the response I saw when the results started coming out. There are times in British political history where a party dies off and is replaced. And I think we're seeing the end of the Labour Party as we know it. What will replace it? I have no idea.
Excellent.
The Labour Party activists saying this. And then we can go to what they're campaigning on. So they were trying to demonise the Tories with this image that I saw. So thinking about voting Tory, don't let the bodies pile high with like a
That's
Tory
a
skull.
great advert!
It looks awesome. Like, it makes them look so metal.
Yeah.
Great. So you redesigned this. I
Yes.
posted it on Twitter. It's just Conservatives Memento Mori.
Yeah.
Which is with this skull.
Yeah, we collect the skulls of the Labour Party.
Because that's the thing. They were like, oh, it's the skulls of people who die from COVID. No, it's the skulls of your councillors. Sip from them.
Remember that you must die, Labour Party.
Just Labour Party. Just spam them underneath. Memento Mori. Memento Mori. You will die. You will die.
No, it's not even you will die, you must die.
Must die. They certainly must.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there's also some things they had from them. They had at least one good meme that I saw, so we can get the next one up, which is just good meme. Keir Starmer, I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas.
That's a good point.
It's true, but it's where's he going to go? Into socialism? Well, that failed, didn't it?
Yeah,
And
what
then-
options does he have?
This is something you can see from the RMP, so I wanted to play one clip here, which is part of Owen Jones's series when he went to Hartlepool and asked the Labour candidate. And the Labour candidate said that basically we have nada. So let's play this.
What is Labour's vision for the country now? What does Labour stand for? Don't say fairness and everything being nice and mother had an apple pie. What is it concretely? What's the vision?
People in this election aren't talking though about Labour's vision, about Labour's vision for the country. They're talking about Labour's vision for Hartlepool.
Well, it's both. But okay, what's Labour's vision for Hartlepool? That's unique and different and
yeah.
distinct.
Yeah. So the best companies come to Hartlepool to provide the best jobs because we have the best trained people.
Do the Tories disagree with that?
Because we've invested in people right from the start of life. There's some direct things. That's
But
why
you don't
I'm in
know.
politics.
But
That's the
I'm
difference I
genuinely
wanna make.
interested. Do you know what the Labour vision for the country is?
Well, you asked me what.
For the country. What's Labour vision for the country?
It's to replicate that, and you start the best place for a child to be born and the best place to grow.
He sounds like a communist revolutionary. How are you not on board with the party line? Who are you to decide the party line?
Well, he knows what the party line is. It's socialism. But he doesn't want to say it because he knows the optics.
Yeah, because he knows that people are like, right, I'm not voting for that guy.
Yeah, that's pure nut job stuff.
Yeah.
So also the last thing here, just being the Labour subreddit, learning nothing, because of course they didn't. Are you saying that he lost a seat I won twice? I effing told you so.
You inherited twice.
Inherited.
You inherited it and wore it away and tested people's patience, and now it's come to this, and you lost it. If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.